Thank you for watching this special video. It's dedicated to Peace Sunday, which is September the 21st. And you're probably wondering, who is this man wearing a fancy dress number? Well, I'm Brother Sean, and I'm privileged to say that I'm a member of the Interfaith Franciscan community. Currently, we are a cyber community who gather online several times each day from different time zones for peace. And it was back in 2008 in Assisi, whilst kneeling in front of this amazing man, Francis of Assisi, a 12th century mystic, and I call him an eco-spiritual warrior, who walked the talk. He didn't talk the walk. And from the 12th century, he has set the world on fire for peace initiatives by his example and by surrendering his heart to God, a God known by many names. And a lot of people who are not Christian, the name Francis ignites an inner peace, a respect for the animal kingdom and the cathedral of God, the landscape. But I have lit a candle for peace, because in this beautiful, fragile world, whilst many have surrendered their heart to their God, Goddess, there are children of God who blatantly give lip service to God, to Allah, to Yahweh, to Jehovah, and to inflict needless suffering on the children of God, our brothers and sisters. So in the silence of our hearts, or in spoken words, let us give thanks for the gift of this day and pray for the life of this beautiful world. And my intention as an enclosed Franciscan who embraces all faiths, underpinned by Celtic Franciscan spirituality, dedicate my life, along with my brothers and sisters, for global peace and interspiritual unity. Give us peace in our days, O God. Let us live in harmony with one another. Let us care for the earth and its creatures. Let us be true as nations. Let us guard one another's dignity, and let us protect the peace that belongs to the whole of creation. For many years, I lived my life as a nursing monk in a Catholic order. But after a number of years, my heart was guided to take time out. To take time out from living a life that was dull, unfulfilled, and where God was calling me to a more solitary life. And though I wandered in a wilderness of my own making, many years later, whilst at a wedding in Florence of a family member, I had this strong desire to go to Assisi. I've never wanted to go to Assisi. And when I inquired on the journey, I thought, oh no, 3.5 hours there and 3.5 hours back. 7 hours of traveling. But that strong inner voice was persistent. I call that inner voice the Hound of Heaven, Jesus the Cosmic Christ. So I arrived at Assisi and I could see thousands of people, and I thought, oh my God, beam me up, Scotty. This is not for me, because I shun people, especially crowds of people, coach loads of people. There must have been 24 coaches in the car park outside the Basilica. And wherever you walked, you were like this. Oh, but then something drew me to a door at the bottom of a staircase. And curiosity got the better of me, because I was guided to go down the steps and through that door. And in going through, the outcome was that my life was transformed. It was a private chapel where Francis is elevated in a sarcophagus and his close friends are buried behind him, like Brother Leo, who was an Englishman. So well done, Leo. But in the silence of that time spent alone in prayer, I remember very little because I cried so much. I cried tears for the way we treat one another. And you're probably going to be appalled at this, but even as a Catholic nursing monk, I never prayed for Christian unity. I prayed for unity and peace within the whole family of God. And I'm glad I did when I look back. But kneeling there, I sensed a strong presence of Jesus. And I'm not in for apparitions, but I felt a strong desire in my heart to take a step away from my church, my family, and walk with Christ on a solitary path. And the message was not to rebuild God's church like Francis, but it was to embrace all faiths. And that conjured up fear. And the next message, to establish a lay monastic community where men and women of different faiths would live together the monastic life and come together like our brother and sister Essenes of Mount Sinai at sunrise, at noon and sunset, and dance the canticle of the creatures and share the richness of one's belief, be we Buddhist, Hindu, Sikh, Baha'i, Muslim, Jew, Christian, and that we come together in love, and that we never ask the question, what belief have you? But that we bring the essence of Franciscan Celtic hospitality to one another, where we walk the talk rather than talk the walk. A big challenge. And that was April 2008. So I emailed and contacted the heads of all the interfaith communities in the UK. I personally emailed all the Catholic bishops, archbishops and cardinals, and the Anglican Church too. And I think there was 344 emails, letters sent out with 3 replies. And I've become aware in the meantime that many religions are fearful of getting involved with another group. I think my own church sees us as heretics because we won't allow them control us. And it's nothing to do with me. I'm following an order from Jesus the Christ to embrace all faiths and to welcome them into the community. And I know, had we have promoted a purely Catholic community like Francis of Assisi, then I know the church would have been more beneficent to us than they are today. But we had to honor the promise to reach out to all faiths. So now, having invited various leaders of various faith groups, rabbis, imams, priests, and other such people of organizations like our brother and sister Buddhists, their refusal to get involved as presenters on our live stream channel Doves for Peace is their issue, not ours. But at first I took it very personally. It got me down. But in prayer I was guided by Jesus. Take heart. They crucified me. They'll crucify you, not on a cross, but through rejection. So keep your eyes and your heart focused on what we have asked you to do, and not on the apathy, indifference, even the rejection and hostility. And that's what I do. But Peace Sunday is an important event, where I know in this small village, some of the yoga followers are having a yoga day. Others are going for a walk into the woods and hug a few trees. And I think that's commendable. But peace within ourselves first is very important, don't you agree? There's no use me praying for peace or inviting you to pray for peace if you are not at peace within your heart, within your mind and your life. So we must begin with ourselves first. And I want to read to you from this beautiful book for praying out loud, Interfaith Prayers for Public Occasions. Honoring the diversity of our spiritual heritages and the unity of our human condition, I invite you silently to call upon what is highest and deepest by the name you hold sacred and dear. Let us pause. Spirit of life and love, mover of the compassionate heart and human mind, melder of community, be present to us as we gather in celebration and in endeavor. May we be a light with your fire in all our works. We welcome the many presences here, each person uniquely formed and still forming in life's crucible, each one in turn a gift and a giver to the world. Creating, sustaining, renewing spirit, be with us today in our glad greetings, in our heartfelt thanksgivings, and in our bittersweet farewells. Be with us as we seek to embody your love in all our works. Be with us now and always. Now I invite each of us to silently add a word of our own to the one who hears. And now let us bring our meditation or prayer to a close, each in our own way. So be it. Amen. Beautiful words. Do they resonate with your heart? Well, let me share with you about the God of many names. God of many names, Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah, the One, the Teo, the Spirit of life, God our Father and God our Mother, come to us all and be a vital presence in the work of all the community of faith. Be present in them as they work to strengthen in their members the sense of your presence in their lives. Be with us as each of our communities of faith, in its own way, tries to discern the direction of your will, that we may aspire to some ultimate creative good, here and in the world, and in which you and we move and have our being. Be present in our churches, our temples, our synagogues, and mosques, as together we work to strengthen the eternal values of all of us, the values of life and kindness and justice. Move in us as we care for and about this city, and it may more perfectly be a place for all who live and work in safety and in neighborliness. God of many names, work through us as justice, that we may feed the hungry and clothe the naked, for even here is the presence of injustice and the need for redress. Come to our entire community of many faiths as a voice of conscience and caring, a voice urging us to prevent the kind of evil that has destroyed lives and shattered families elsewhere. God of many names, come to us as value and respect for our different faiths, for the diversity of faith that is natural, and for the numerous ways by which we invoke your presence in our congregations and in our personal lives. Be present in our communities of faith as a vision of the openness of all the human family, that all of us are in your image, that all of us are moved by the force of your presence deep within us, that all of us need the same things in order to live full lives that honor you. Help each of our faith communities to fulfill its mission, to do its work more perfectly, to make the world and our city and towns and villages a better place for its presence. God of many names, come to us. Be with us, move us in the ways of loving kindness, peace and justice. Amen. We speak to the God, the Goddess, the Spirit of life, the eternal. We speak to the mysterious thread that connects us one to the other and in the universe. We speak to the deep wisdom at the center of our beings. We embody the yearning of all people in touch each other more deeply, to touch each other more deeply, to hear each other more keenly, to see each other's joys and sorrows as our own, and know that we are not alone. Unless we create solitude for ourselves, and even then community awaits us. Out of our yearning, we have come to this religious community. May we help each other to proclaim the possibilities we see, to create the community we desire, to worship what is worthy in our lives, to teach the truth as we know it, and to serve with justice in all the ways that we can, to the end that our yearning is assuaged and our lives fulfilled in one another. Let us go now into the silence of the faith that is unique to each one of us and still the same. Let us be silent together for a moment. And may peace be yours and mine. And in the presence of the Father, Mother, God Supreme, we ask a benediction on this Peace Sunday. We ask God's blessing on those who have been wounded by intolerance and a lack of respect because they dare to be different. We ask the Spirit of this one true loving God, Goddess, to pour the love of God into each of our hearts so that we can forgive ourselves for our wrongdoing and our lack of charity to ourselves and to one another. And we ask the Father, Mother, God to give us an awareness of what is judgment, not to judge one another because their lifestyle or their belief does not meet with our approval, but give us a loving, forgiving, tolerant, respectful heart to embrace the divine in them and not judge them because they have chosen a different way of life, be it religious or be it sexual or whatever. And as we have lit our light for peace, and peace is God's gift to us, and we are all called by God to be kingdom builders, to be a bridge of light, so that we can show others the way, not by our dogma, our fear, or controlling agendas, but by our love, by our respect. And I am proud to be a member of the Teo community of Interfaith Franciscans. Some of us are devout Christians, and brothers and sisters have different beliefs. Some are shamanic, and some have different names than I do for God, but we have a great love for one another, and we learn so much when we come together to share and to break bread in the presence of love. And for me, God is love. And I meet my God not in a building, but in the cathedral of light, a cathedral of love that has no walls, the landscape, where nature empowers the heart to embrace the divine in everything that lives, moves, and breathes, and that we can sit and relax in the presence of our God, Goddess in the landscape, and allow the choristers of God, the animal kingdom, the birds, to sing their praises to God. As we blow out our candles, let us blow peace to one another and peace into the cathedral of God, the landscape, and especially to those who are wounded in mind, body, and spirit, because they are our brothers and sisters, members of the mystical heart, of a loving God, Goddess. So we blow out our candle and we wish everyone peace. And I would like to conclude with our beautiful Franciscan blessing. May God bless you with a restless discomfort about easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may seek truth boldly and love deep within your heart. May God bless you with holy anger at injustice, oppression, and the exploitation of people, so that you may tirelessly work for justice, freedom, and peace among all people. May God bless you with the gift of tears, to shed with those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, or the loss of all that they cherish, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and transform their pain to joy. May God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you really can make a difference in this beautiful world, so that you are able, with God's grace, to do what others claim cannot be done. And the blessing of God, our Supreme Majesty and our Creator, and to Jesus the Cosmic Christ, our mentor, our advocate, our brother, our friend, and to the Spirit of God, who is our advocate and guide, be with you and remain with you this day and every day of your life. Namaste, Shalom, Inshallah, Paxet Bonum Om Shanti, Solo di Caritas, Salam Alaikum, and may the peace of your God reawaken in your heart the desire to become an ambassador of peace. Come, share your gifts with us as a presenter on our Doves for Peace channel. And together, we can become one beautiful voice for peace within the whole family of God. God bless you and thank you for joining me.